Today we're here to talk about a topic that touches millions of lives all over the world, breast cancer. Breast cancer is the most common cancer among women worldwide, and it's likely that you or someone you know has been affected by the disease. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time dedicated to raising awareness, supporting those who have been affected and taking action. The more we know, the more lives we can save. Today I am honoured to be joined by Emma. Her story embodies resilience, courage and hope. Emma's story reminds us that breast cancer is not just a medical diagnosis, it's a deeply personal journey that affects every part of life. So what symptoms and or causes made you go and visit the doctor?
I didn't actually have any symptoms at the time. I felt perfectly well. I had literally been out for the evening, come home, just the way I sat and put my hand across my breast and felt a lump. Okay. And I wasn't even worried then. I just thought, oh, it's a lump, you know. If it's still there in the morning, I'll call the doctor and get it checked out. And up until then, I wasn't too worried. Whether it's you panic, I don't know, but it's sort of hidden panic, I guess.
Yeah.
Went to the doctor and they confirmed, yes, it was a lump. And then you're just put into like a fast-moving roller coaster of appointments and to get it checked out. Even at the point when I was seeing the consultant, I was convinced, yes, it was a lump, but it was just a cyst, and nothing to be alarmed about. And my husband said the same. So after I'd had the mammogram and the biopsies, to be told it was stage 3 breast cancer, and it had spread to the lymph nodes as well, was very hard to digest and take in.
Yeah.
Just couldn't believe it. My instant reaction is that happens to other people, it doesn't happen to me. And from there on, my life just changed.
So what were some of the challenges that you faced during your treatment journey?
It was the speed of the appointments that you had. It was constantly, I think I was up the hospital nearly every 3 days. You're given a programme of when you're having surgery, when you're having the chemotherapy, when you're having the radiotherapy, briefly how it affects you, but they don't go into too much detail. And it was just changing your whole lifestyle. Instead of being the mum that got up and looked after the children in the house and went to work, this was now like a full-time job on its own. I was worried about work because whether you'd be able to do it or not be able to do it, worried about the children, worried about the family, but it was more important to deal with the treatment and the appointments. Having a lot of family support really helped, and friend support. My husband was there sort of every appointment, and he was the one that said, you just take one day at a time. And after the first week I realised that's what I've got to do, and after each day, literally tick that day off, that day was done. And you couldn't afford to think of much else. But apart from the way you were feeling with the treatment as well, made you, the surgery was physical pain, chemotherapy was just a horrible pain. Yeah. As they tell you, they're filling your body with poison and your body's trying to fight against that. So it doesn't matter what people say or advise, you'll know your best way of dealing with it. And mine was for the first 24 hours to shut myself away from everyone till I felt a bit more human. But you seem as if you're just getting to feel a bit more human, and you're back for blood test because they can't do the next session unless your red and white blood count are correct. And then if it's all go, then you're in the next day for another session. So it was constant 9 months of the chemotherapy, sort of, you just begin to feel normal and then you feel rubbish again.
Yeah. So I was about to ask you a question about how important it is to get early detection, but how early was your cancer detected?
To this day, I don't know how long I had it, because as I mentioned, I felt perfectly well. It was only the fact, pure fluke, that I'd felt that lump. But it is important that you need to check regularly for lumps. By saying that, where I'd been checking, I hadn't even found the lump that was under my arm, where it had spread to the lymph nodes. So if you have got any suspicion there's something, it is important to get it checked out, because they check things that you wouldn't normally check.
And it's not just necessarily lumps, is it? It's just
No, it can be the way it looks, if it's an indentation, or if it's like puckered skin or change of colour, anything that's different from the normal, you know what's normal for you. Yeah.
So what support is most beneficial and meaningful? What was beneficial and meaningful to you during your treatment?
I think the main thing was having a lot of family and friends support. It's nice to have people there, just on the days that you feel you need someone to know that they're there really does help. And different people help differently with whatever you're going through. There was also the Macmillan counselling services, which were very helpful. And to know that there's a breast care nurse there at the end of the phone anytime if you're worried was reassurance as well. But mainly your friends and family support.
And reaching out to them as well, isn't it?
Yes.
And then as well as them reaching out to you to check in that you're okay.
Yeah.
What do you want people to know about the physical and emotional recovery going through that?
Physical recovery will take time, and you've got to let yourself just heal. You can't worry about anything else. I learnt that from the beginning. The more you're worrying about other things, the longer it's going to take to recover. Taking day by day, doing what they say for the physical side. The emotional side is a bit like a roller coaster. You might find one day you've got this, you can deal with it. The next day something can just totally throw you off track. But that is what your friends and family are there for, and that really help. But you can't push yourself faster than your appointments and what you're doing. You literally, I know I keep saying it, but just take one day at a time.
Because you probably want to feel like you want to just press fast forward, don't you?
Yeah, and you think on the good day you think I can go and do this today, and then you find you physically can't.
Yeah. Is that because of the screenings or the blood tests that they would take? Or?
It is, and when I had surgery, I had a drain under my arm for a week when I come out of hospital. So you've got to be aware of what you can and can't do. And if you do overdo it, then it throws your whole programme out, because at the beginning they plan your whole programme of surgery, chemo and radio. So if you've done something daft and put yourself back, it's thrown the whole programme out. So you are literally on a programme from day one.
Yeah. And when we're talking about the physical side of it, what was the physical side of it? Is it you're in bed? Are you able to kind of walk around, go and walk the dog, or how? Yeah, no,
you're not in bed. I had breast reconstruction and I had a lumpectomy. So I'd had a big incision in my breast and an incision under my arm. After I'd come out of hospital, I wasn't sort of bedbound, but you were tied with carrying a bottle round for the drain under your arm for a while. And obviously you're very sore and uncomfortable, but you've still got to move and carry on as much as you can. But to be aware not to do anything stupid and lift anything stupid.
Go to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just being aware of it, but doing a bit more each day, really.
Cool. So being someone that hasn't obviously experienced breast cancer, what should I be looking out for, or what should I be aware of? Anything
that is not what you're used to. Obviously feeling lumps sort of all around your breast within. If there's a lump deep inside your breast, you're not going to get it picked up, but you can do the best around the outside and everything by putting your arm up and checking under your arms as well. A lot of people don't think to check under their arms, but if it's spread there, you need to get that caught as well. But as you say, it's not just the lumps, it's indentations and puckered skin or changing of colour, anything that's abnormal. But it is really important to pick it up and go straight to your GP with it.
And how often should you be checking? Like, I don't know what we're recommended, how often we should check.
I think they say roughly monthly, but I do it a lot more often than that. It takes not even 2 minutes just to check. If every night or every morning when you have a shower, you just check. The sooner you pick something up, the less treatment you've got to go through to get rid of it.
Yeah.
The longer it's in your body, the longer it's going to take to get rid of it.
Yeah. And how do you feel, or do you think that like colleagues or friends, family can best support someone going through that journey?
It's just reassurance that you're going to be okay, you will get through it. Help with everyday things that you would normally do, which you find either physically or emotionally unable to do. Just having their support there. I'd had a couple of friends that had actually gone through it, so it was nice to hear their experience and be a bit forewarned of what was coming. But basically just being there, giving them support whenever you need it.
So last question, or maybe last question, what advice would you give someone going through their breast cancer journey?
Just take it step by step. Don't be too alarmed of what's thrown at you at the beginning. Make sure you have somebody with you that can listen, because the amount of appointments you go to and you come out and I didn't take it in.
Yeah.
So it's important to have somebody with you, but literally take it step by step and cross each bridge when you come to it. That you've got support out there to help you and you will get through it. And just keep thinking positive.
You touched on the Macmillan care,
Yeah.
or the calls and the Macmillan nurses that are there to talk to you. Is there any other support out there through the NHS or online or anything that you used?
It was mainly the Macmillan we were told about. You're given a breast care nurse from the beginning of treatment and they're there all the time when you need them.
And that's the same nurse every time?
Yeah, and they'll be at appointments or whatever you need them to be. And they have the Macmillan counselling on top of that if you need to talk or ask questions, but there's always somebody there to answer a question. So.
Nice.